You remember that time we spent all that effort putting in the ceiling? That was so much fun. Let's do that again. Hey guys, this is Chad from OverLand. We're gonna go ahead and start working on our bed. Okay, those of you new to the channel, and people who are probably smarter than I am, you're probably wondering to yourself, dude, why are you tearing all this down? Why did you pull your cabinet down and start pulling parts of your ceiling down? Well, originally we had our bed lift system was designed to go on these on these rails, and I had four linear actuators that were mounted underneath the bed along this wall that were going to lift the bed up to the height that we needed. Problem became we added 4 inches to the height of the truck, and our rail actuators ended up being too short. And I couldn't get in longer ones because they wouldn't fit within the confines of the height from the floor to the back of the dinette. So we ended up having to switch to track actuators, which is, in all honesty, probably a better idea, and I should have gone with it in the first place. But for that, we need to redesign our system a little bit because we have to put the motors towards the top and run all of our wiring through the ceiling. So minor changes need to occur. But anyways, we've got our track actuators in the shop right now. I need to build some brackets for those track actuators so that they will mount to our 80/20 on the bottom, and I need to build some brackets. I've already cut a spacer hole to get to the 2x2 steel up there in the ceiling so that we can actually bolt the upper portion of the track actuators to the ceiling. Anyways, let's go in the shop and start making some brackets. Okay, so we have our track actuators, which are custom-made track actuators. The bottom bracket here that comes with the actuator is meant only to mount it to a wall or a wall mount, which we don't want to do. We want to mount down through to our 80/20 track. So we've popped this off, and the way that this bracketry is set up, it's distance so that it actually supports keeping a space enough for the track itself to slide without hitting the wall behind it. So we need to maintain that offset and make our bracket wider so that we can drill holes through it and mount to our 80/20. So let's see if we've got something in the ye old empire of dirt that'll do that. We got a chunk of angle aluminium that is roughly the same thickness, roughly the same depth. So that'll actually give us their offset, so we can just use this angle piece to hold the actuator away from the wall. Plus we can cut a wider chunk and then we'll be able to drill through. So let's just stop talking about it and actually make something. What, ish? Yeah, there'll work. Let's try something like that. Okay. All right, so good. All right, let's put that on this side. No, that's wrong. That's exactly backwards. Now that should give us the space that we need. All right, so that'll be a good for the mock-up of the bottom. We can throw a couple of these guys in there so that they'll lock into the 80/20 framing, and then we can go mock up our upper bracket. I know, I'm wearing a hoodie, and last week we were putting air conditioning in the truck. So much. Oh well. In goes the... There we go. So we need a bracket that's going to come down 3 1/4 inch. almost like it's a construction zone. I'm just gonna take a chunk of angle aluminum and see if we can make a bracket out of that. This is about as fun as watching paint dry. So we're just gonna turn this guy down until we can fit it through our bracket that we made for the upper support. That way we can just use a pin system rather than a bolt system because there's not enough room to get a frickin' wrench up in there. Okay, we did our prototype piece and it worked out pretty well. So what I did is instead of using that thinner material, I used a thicker material so I could recess it slightly so that we could countersink the heads of these screws in there so that they sit flush against our 80/20 and still have room for our bolts. We also maintain our offset for the back of the slide, and I cut some janky upper brackets so that these guys can go in like this, mount up in the ceiling, and then I made some pins that we can stick through our bracket and then just stick a cotter pin in there so we can do all that up in the ceiling with needle nose pliers because we're not going to have enough room to get some wrenches in there. I think we're going to basically only have about amount of room to get this thing slid up and then threaded through. So let's get it in the truck and see what we can do. Up in there like so, and then pin on the other side. That'll hold it in there like that. So now all we got to do is drill 2 holes in the roof. Best of luck. Okay. Okay, not looking forward to this part. Problem solved-ish. There we go. Didn't even scrub the roof. There's a first. Okay, so swap out drill bit with screwdriver bit and see if we can get these self-tappers to bite. Okay, starting. Now I need a 90-degree bit because this is not going to work. Oh, look at that. Ah, give me my finger back. Thank you. Wow, that's blood, sweat, and tears now. No. Oh yeah, there we go. That's in there. In like sin. We can slip this guy in here like so. And voila. Nice part about this is with this bottom being on 80/20, we can swing the bottom so that the sides perfectly line, so that these guys perfectly line up. We'll deal with the electrical later. I guess you really don't have to watch the rest of this because you are almost out of battery. All right, well this side's taken pretty much all day, but we've actually hit a milestone. Just give you a quick view of the level of carnage that it has taken to do this. We've got our shoe cabinet and stuff all torn apart. Some pads up top because I have already, as you can see, ground off the roof, so I'll have to sand that and restain it. Let's get you in here for a quick look at how these brackets are sitting up in here. So I've got these brackets into the 2x2 steel, and then I've cut the ends off of the end of the motors and wired in some plugs, some Molex connectors. That way, you know, when these things go bad, I can actually just pop them and swap them. So the way we're doing the the system is we've got just a pin, but that way, as you can see on the other side, you can still get up in there with a pair of needle nose pliers, pop that pin out, and drop this whole system. And I've lifted enough of a loop up in here that I can actually pull the line out and then disconnect that Molex connector. So it's just a pin at the top, 2 bolts at the bottom, and we're good to go. But yeah, we're kind of trashing the place right now. And there we go. Got all 4 of them in. It is dark outside on day 2 of this adventure. We haven't put this guy back together yet. I'm actually thinking of redesigning it now. But anyways, we got all of our electrical or control system in place. Sure beats the hell out of the control system that I built for the linear actuators. But yeah, they all work up and down. And the nice part is I have controls. I could just push and it'll go up all by itself and stop. Yeah, there we go. We have linear actuators. So I'll link all the information for these actuators in the description down below. Hopefully we'll start building the bed here soon. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, give it a like. Subscribe down below if you're not a subscriber. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. And we'll catch you in the next one. Same thickness. Well, let's just hold on to stuff, shall we? Nope. Okay, good enough. Well, that's hard to... There we go. There we go. Nice. Could probably get away without the hot glue, but I like the way it sticks. Sticks! No more. Because nothing says quality manufacturing like hot glue. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. And I have my earpods in. How about let's do an outro without my earpods?